Hey there, powerful soul. I want to have a conversation with you about abundance and how magnetic abundance is and how lack is deactivating your abundance or your magnetism rather. I see patterns happening, and when I see patterns, I feel this deep inner conviction to have a conversation. And there has been a pattern I've been noticing, specifically on my platform, that I wanted to bring forward and have a conversation about. And it's a conversation that will touch on womanhood, that will touch on relationships, and will even touch on money. And I believe you'll find some value in this. And so my name is Casandra Austin McDonald, if you are new to me. And if you hear something I share during this live stream that you find will be valuable for someone else to hear, please share. I would really appreciate it. Hold on now, make sure my connection is right. Thank you for being here. And if you are new, I'd love for you to let me know you're new. I love to connect with people, and if you've been here for a while and you're catching the replay, let me know that too. So I've been noticing a pattern. And for some people who are watching this, if this has been you, this may feel confronting. I invite you to breathe. I invite you to be with it. Because when something feels confronting to us, and if your natural pattern is to project, is to push it away, to resist it, you're only re-engaging with the pattern in a way that's going to come back. However, when something confronts us and it's truth, and when we're really honest with ourselves and we keep it real with ourselves and we're like, you know what? Yeah, I've been doing that. That becomes an opportunity to disrupt the pattern and shift it. And so what I love about the work I do is I support accomplished spiritual and feminine women to permanently remove self-sabotaging patterns so that you are creating fulfilling relationships and more abundance than you ever thought was possible. And pattern disruption is one of the approaches that I do to support that. And so oftentimes with pattern disruption, it feels confronting at first. It doesn't feel good because we have to come face to face with ourselves. We have to look the woman or the fella, whoever's here, in the mirror and say, you know what? Yeah, you've been doing that. And that's not serving you. And that's actually not in alignment. And that's actually not going to support you to be doing, have what you say that you want. And that's actually sabotage. The pattern that I have been noticing on my platform are two things. And before I share these two things, I first want to make a little caveat. Part of my spiritual gifts are pattern recognition, discerning of spirits, and I can see in the unseen, meaning I can see, I can discern, I can sense what people think no one can see because they try to be sneaky, they try to be covert, they try to hide. You can't do that over here, okay? Like, God wired me totally differently. I can see through all of that, okay? And the patterns I have been noticing are two things. One is I have had a post that I wrote a while back that has been circulating on these internet streets through other people's posts. I haven't been tagged. I haven't been credited. I haven't been named as the original person who created that. So I said, okay, noticed, right? Another pattern I've noticed is people will come and comment on my posts, and the energy behind your comment is trying to be seen on my platform in hopes that you will attract a client or get someone to come to your platform. Again, this may feel confronting. This may feel confronting because I'm the type of person, I call a spade a spade. This is who I be in real life, okay? Not just for these internet streets. Those who know me personally will say, yeah, if she sees something, she's gonna say. And I'm saying something because I have been there before. I used to use that tactic of commenting on other people's stuff in the past because that's part of what a lot of us were told to do when it comes to online business. And this is the issue that I find with that. is it's not always the action or the behavior, but it's the energy behind it. And that is what's palpable. And so the energy I'm discerning behind those who are doing this, who are basically taking my original copy and content or commenting on my posts, hoping that they're going to get eyeballs on their posts or their platforms or get more people from my platform to their platform or whatever the reason is, it's palpable and it's felt. And this is the analogy that I like to use, because I actually wrote a post about this, but then I felt, you know what, let's have a conversation about this. The analogy that came to me was that this is equivalent to a woman who interacts with someone else's man in attempts to try to get him to choose her over his woman, even though he's already in a relationship. It reeks of desperation. It reeks of lack. It reeks of not enough. It reeks of this frequency of, I have to, instead of being all of me to attract and magnetize that which I desire, I have to sound like, look like, be like he, she, they, them, whomever has whatever you think that you want and you don't have. And it emits an essence, and it emits this aura from you that is off-putting. That's a turnoff. I remember when I was single and dating before I met the mister, and I would have friends in my life back then when I was still growing through my journey of womanhood, and they wanted to partake in the people I was dating. Meaning they would want to go behind my back and talk to whoever I was dating in hopes that that person would choose them. And it gave off this essence of lack, this quality of lack, this mindset, this frequency of lack of there's not enough men out there. There's not enough potential partners out there. And so this can even show up in relationships. This can even show up in love, where if you feel there is not enough, that's where this comes from. It's not enough. There's not enough people. There's not enough potential partners. There's not enough men. There's not enough money. There's not enough of this, that, and the third. Your behavior then starts to throw you out of alignment with actually being in position to magnetize it to you. And so when these friends would do this and they would, try to take the boyfriend or try to take the partner or whomever I was dating at the time, what they were doing was they were positioning themselves in a way where they actually weren't going to receive what they wanted, because that's not the way you go about it. And so the person they may want is over here, but they're looking over there. And a lot of women who tend to do this are coming from this place of lack, feeling there's not enough. There's not enough men out there. There's not enough potential partners out there, whatever your preference is. And this also shows up in our relationship with money. And right now, I can feel the quality in the atmosphere of what's happening right now. There has been a massive shift that has happened in the marketplace, in online business, in commerce, in the economy. There has been a massive shift. And for those who've been connected to me for any length of time, in 2022, I had shared this prophetic word that God gave me, that it was shifting season, that things were about to start shifting again. And so here we are in the midst of this shift, and I'm starting to notice that people are having this behavior that is emitting a frequency of lack. And when you do that, you actually are taking yourself out of alignment with that which you say you claim that you want. I'll give you an example. There was a time in my business where I was desperate for some clients, okay? When I say desperate for some clients, I probably would have took anybody on, even if I didn't have no business taking them on, okay? Because I still didn't understand my value in the work that I did, but I also still wasn't in this congruent relationship with money. And there was this lack that was leaking through in my business where I would do all these I was doing free discovery calls. Oh my gosh. I remember one time, I believe I had almost 40 discovery calls. within a short period of time. It was crazy. And it was just, I just wanted to work with someone. I just wanted to work with someone. And I had made some really big investments in my business, and I was trying to recoup the money really fast. And I was operating in lack. And even if those people had the resources to invest and they wanted to work with me, something about my energy would probably was repulsive, would repel them and cause them to feel like something's not right here. Now, here's something interesting. I started to notice this pattern within myself. I had that confronting moment where I was thinking to myself, you're not operating through a frequency of abundance. You're operating through lack, through not enough, through not trusting. And so I went back to the lab and I did my inner work. And I used my own work on myself, okay? And got myself in this beautiful regulated state in my nervous system and recalibrated my frequency and realigned and repositioned myself perception so that I was seeing myself in alignment with the identity that God gave me. And something interesting happened. I went from attracting tons and tons of people and then repelling them at the same time because I wasn't in alignment, to attracting people who wanted to work with me. And I was now pushing them away and saying it's not aligned. Even when I needed the money in my business. Even when I was still in a place in my business where I was wanting to turn things around and recoup the money, I still needed the money in my business technically. However, I had shifted something in me to where I said, even though they have the money, inside of my spirit, it doesn't feel aligned to work with them. I don't feel they're ready for the type of work I offer. And so I would say no. And in my no, what I'm doing is I'm making room for a greater, bigger yes. Same thing with dating and love. When I was a single mama, before I met the mister, and I was dating, there was a time where I was meeting some really incredible potential partners. Established men, people who had their ish together, people who I even had friends and colleagues ask me, was I crazy because I wasn't taking them seriously? I even had a friend who said, you need to just settle for one of these people because, oh my gosh, what are you going to do? You're a single mom. And at the time I was in my 30s and you need to settle. You need to pick someone. And settling gives me the itch. I don't know about you, but just that word, I just feel a little cringe inside. But I also had a conviction of what I wanted to experience in my love life. And I had a conviction about it. And I felt this inner knowing that I don't have to settle just for what's right here. And so I was tapped into the frequency of abundance, knowing that there's more where that came from. There's this saying for anyone who's ever worked with me before, they've taken a relationship program from me before. I said that the next bus is always going to come. The next bus always comes. This analogy came from because I grew up in central Illinois where we had city buses. And to get to wherever we wanted to go, if we weren't driving a vehicle, I grew up that way with public transportation. And I often took the city bus to go to school or to come home from track practice or to meet my friends at the mall. And the interesting thing about the city bus transportation was that every 30, 40 minutes, you knew the next bus is going to come. And so technically you don't miss the bus. I mean, you may miss the bus when it comes to time, but the next bus is always going to come. Well, I started using this analogy in my love life and then eventually in my teachings with women where they would get these concerns about a potential partner and they didn't feel like they were the one, but then they would get into this lack energy of, but what if this is the last one that comes? And I would always reaffirm for them, the next bus is going to come. The next bus always comes. And so I had then shifted into bringing that analogy inside of my business, where I had reached this point where I'm pivoting and I'm shifting and I'm refining and I'm getting more clear and I'm recognizing my value more, and people are wanting to work with me and they're completing an application and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, no, not aligned. Even though I could have used the money. Because I was operating from a frequency of abundance. And I know the next bus is going to come. I'm sharing all of this to say that any one of us who utilize the gift of these internet streets that supports us to reach people far and wide across this planet for our God work, for our calling, for our soul's missions, for our businesses, the blessing that we have to touch a button and literally anyone from anywhere around the world can hear the sound of my voice and watch this recording. It's absolutely miraculous in and of itself. And let's not misuse that. Let's not mistreat that. Let's not take advantage of that because of the ease to touch the button, because of the ease to just hurry up and copy and paste, because of the ease to go inside of somebody else's post and da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's be more conscious here. Everyone talks about being conscious, having a conscious partnership and having a conscious business. Let's be conscious on these internet streets. And part of our consciousness is adopting the abundant way of being, the abundant mindset, the abundant frequency, the abundant identity. And see, on this journey I've been on with my business and my relationship with money, I started to realize that feeling the frequency of abundance with money begins before the money hits my bank account. So who do I choose to be in the meantime? Who do I choose to be in the meantime? And so notice when you see someone's post that you love and it resonates and maybe it feels similar to your work and you want to take, notice that in yourself. Notice when you see someone's post and you want to go comment in hopes that it will cause someone to come and look at your stuff. Notice that in yourself, because that is not abundance. That is lack. And it has a stench to it. It has a scent to it. It reeks of lack. It reeks of not enough. It reeks at look at me. If there is a way to get people to look at you without emitting the look at me, trying too hard, efforting, I can show you how. You can private message me and we can have a conversation about how I can show you where you have authentic magnetism, not faux magnetism, where you're actually being all of you, not a replica of someone else. And it really, truly disheartens me when I see so many brilliant minds, so many beautiful women, so many talented souls sound like, look like, and try to be like and emulate someone else. Because somewhere deep in your unconscious psyche, you still have this belief there's not enough for you. That is what you get to rewire. That is what I'm inviting you to look at. Because the only way to tap into the frequency of abundance is this type of work. It's not just in getting more opportunities, more dates, more clients, more money, but who are you going to be in the meantime before the more shows up? Who do you choose to be? Because if you're going to still operate in lack and not enough, and if you're still going to operate in competition and comparison, and if you're still going to operate in not enough, guess what you're going to create? That. And so remember, every moment, every day, we are engaging with a co-creative process. Whether you believe in that or not, it's happening. It's happening. And you can either choose to be a conscious co-creator, or you can repeat patterns that will sabotage you. And over a period of time, you'll start to feel frustrated. You'll start to feel dissatisfied. And we know what that path leads down. I don't know about you, but I chose a while ago that regardless of what my external reality is revealing to me and showing me, I'm going to still choose who I want to be, because that's what I have power and control over. That's what I have power and control over. And so I have a couple things that I want to bring forward about ways you can work with me if you feel this conversation was something that you needed to hear. And the first one is a money workshop that is going to be held live in a few weeks. So myself and a dear colleague, friend, client, financial dignity expert, Christine Lucan, and I are bringing back the Discover the Treasures Beyond Your Emotional Money Triggers workshop. And I'm really excited about this because we ran this workshop live last year and we had raving reviews. The testimonials were incredible, were absolutely incredible. People were shattering beliefs that they didn't even know that they had about money, healing money traumas, aligning themselves for better opportunities, for increasing their income. It was an incredible experience, and we're bringing it back live. And what I love about what we're doing is Christine is a very wealthy woman who got her wealth outside of the online coaching world. And what I love about that is it shows that there's other ways to create financial prosperity and wealth other than what's often marketed to us here on these internet streets. And that's something that me and the Mister are interested in, is how do you create financial prosperity in ways that are diversified. And she is a true wealthy woman. And so she's also a financial dignity expert. She is a former accountant, and she is a true money queen. Okay. She's the most embodied wealthy woman on this planet that I know. So we're collaborating because I'm bringing in my mind-body approaches from a trauma-informed lens so that we are tapping into the cellular memory in your body regarding money, rewiring those unconscious crippling beliefs around money, rewiring those stories and those narratives that you've told yourself around money so that you are experiencing more abundance, feeling more peaceful around money so that you are positioning yourself to create financial abundance moving forward. This is a 2.5 hour live virtual workshop experience. And there's a lot of cool bonuses. If you want to hear more, you can private message me and I'll send you the link. We are having an early bird right now, which is at $111. And the price will increase July 23rd, which is in a few days, to $222. So it's going to double in a few days. So if you want to join us, join us. The next option is to receive tailored, customized, one-on-one support for your unique needs and desires on your journey of creating the most fulfilling relationships and more abundance than you ever thought was possible, and doing that work with me. And so if you are in a place right now where you're ready to invest in one-on-one mentorship and support, and you've been feeling a resonance with me, and you've been watching, and you've been looking and peeking, and you're ready to say, okay, let's do it, then private message me and I can send you over the application so you can complete that. And then I will let you know how we can move forward from there. And if you have any questions about any of the things I've shared, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. Please share this with anybody that you know needs to hear this. Remember, what you do frequently becomes your frequency. What you do frequently becomes your frequency. And so check thyself. Okay? Check thyself. Thank you for being here, and I'll chat with you soon. Take care now.